Hello everyone, this is Sobi, your travel enthusiast. Before I start, I want to share something special about this episode. In my previous videos, I always used AI voiceover since I wasn't too confident about using my own voice. But today, in this final episode of my Almaty series, you're hearing me directly. I wanted to bring a more personal connection to connect to my subscribers. So I hope you enjoy this narration just as much as the journey itself. In the past three episodes, we explored some of Almaty's most iconic spots like Kok Tobe Hill, the Zenkov Cathedral, the Grand Mosque, the lively green Bazaar, and of course, the breathtaking Shymbulak Ski Resort. If you haven't watched those yet, I have added the links in the description. But today's video is the final chapter of my Almaty trip. A quick but meaningful wrap-up of some last spots I managed to cover before leaving this wonderful city. In this episode, we will walk through the grand Central State Museum, step inside a beautiful Russian Orthodox Church, visit a couple of unique museums in Panfilov Park, and finally end the day with a hearty dinner at the famous Panfilov Street, also known as Arbat, the bustling walking and food street of Almaty. Let's begin. My first stop was the Central State Museum of Kazakhstan, one of the largest and most important museums in the country. Originally established in the 1930s and later moved to its current monumental building in 1985, this museum houses thousands of artifacts that trace the story of Kazakhstan. As someone who truly enjoys museums, I make it a point to visit them wherever I travel, and this one did not disappoint. From the outside, the building itself looks massive and striking. After collecting my ticket, I was welcomed by a huge map of Kazakhstan right at the entrance, a perfect starting point to understand the scale and diversity of this country. The museum is arranged across 7 floors, each one focusing on a different chapter of Kazakhstan's history. On the ground floor, I walked into a hall filled with natural history, giant birds, majestic eagles, and other rare species I had never seen so closely before. Moving to the first floor, the atmosphere completely changed. Here the exhibits highlighted Kazakhstan's ancient and medieval history. On the upper floors, the narrative shifted towards the modern era. There were halls filled with paintings and cultural artifacts. But what really struck me were the sections depicting Kazakhstan's more recent history, especially during the Soviet period. I came across dramatic displays that showed scenes of war, the struggle of Kazakh people under Soviet rule, and the long road to independence. These exhibits felt alive, telling stories of resilience and change. Every corner of the museum added another layer to Kazakhstan's story, from natural wonders and ancient treasures to paintings, political milestones. The Central State Museum gives you a complete picture of how this country has evolved through the centuries. For me, it wasn't just a museum, it was like walking through the timeline of Kazakhstan itself. After exploring the museum, I stopped for a quick coffee to recharge. The coffee was really nice, hot, strong, and just what I needed after walking through all those exhibits. I took a taxi to my next stop. That was the St. Nicholas Cathedral, one of the oldest Russian Orthodox churches in Almaty. This cathedral was built in the early 20th century and has served the city's Orthodox community for over 100 years. Unlike some of Almaty's more popular attractions, this place isn't very touristy, and that's exactly why I wanted to visit. I wanted to experience a more authentic side of the city's culture. From the outside, the cathedral is striking, painted in green and white, crowned with beautiful domes that glisten under the sun. As I walked through the gates, it gave me a sense of calm. Stepping inside, the atmosphere completely changed. The interior was dimly lit with the soft glow of candles and the rich smell of incense filling the air. The walls were adorned with icon paintings of saints and golden details that highlighted the sacred ambience. Local worshippers stood quietly, some lighting candles, others whispering prayers. Though I was just a visitor, I felt a deep sense of peace here. It was a moment away from the tourist bus, a change to reflect and admire the spiritual side of Almaty. As I walked out of the cathedral with a sense of peace, my journey continued with two more cultural spots. At the Music Museum, I collected my ticket and stepped inside to explore an incredible collection of instruments. From the iconic Dobra of Kazakhstan to rare pieces from around the world, every instrument told a story of heritage and tradition. Walking through the halls, I could also imagine the melodies that once filled the air, reminding me how music is such a powerful bridge between generations and culture. Just a short walk away, I first noticed the war memorial outside the military museum, a tribute to the bravery and sacrifices of soldiers. I spent a few minutes in the atmosphere and thought of those soldiers who sacrificed their life for the land. As I entered the military museum, which is housed in the historic House of Officers, the museum preserves military history from World War II, when Kazakh soldiers played a major role in the Soviet army, to more recent times. Inside, the displays ranged from weapons, uniforms, and medals to photographs and personal stories of sacrifice. Walking through the halls, I saw detailed exhibits on historic battles, military strategies, and the resilience of the people who lived through those times. It was both sobering and inspiring, a reminder of the courage and strength that helped shape the nation. After finishing up at the museums, hunger started to kick in, and I knew it was a perfect time to explore Arbat Street, Almaty's most famous walking and food street. As I reached Arbat, the lively vibe hit me instantly. The street was not that busy, but bustling with energy. There are so many cafes and restaurants lined both sides, offering everything from traditional Kazakh dishes to international flavors. I took my time strolling alone, enjoying the vibrant evening lights and soaking in the city's atmosphere. Arbat Street had something for everyone, bustling street food stalls as well as fine dining restaurants. I decided to stop at one of the city's famous restaurants to try some local dishes. I enjoyed traditional Kazakh kebabs alongside with some sides and even paired it with a cold beer, the perfect way to end the day. After a little more strolling and exploring the street, I felt it was time to wrap up my Almaty chapter. The city had given me mountains, culture, history, music, food, and above all, unforgettable memories. And that's a wrap for this Almaty's video series. I hope you enjoyed following along on my journey. There are many more travel tales from around the world coming soon, and I can't wait to share them with you. Since this was my first time narrating with my own voice, I hope you enjoyed it and felt a personal connection to the journey. I do love to hear your thoughts. Please let me know in the comments if my narration worked well or if there is anything I could improve. For more adventures and stories and tales around the world, don't forget to subscribe to SJ Global Tales.